What's up, shorties? Today I figured I'd show my recent investments and how they've been doing. I wanted something that I could look back on every few months and maybe make an update video to see how everything's been doing. Before I begin, I just wanted to preface the video with two things. One, the goal of the video isn't to flex or brag about how much I have. I keep things in storage units for a reason, and I thought it'd just be helpful for me to show what I invested in and more importantly why I invested in them, given that's how I first learned about all of this and got into it. And second, seeing all of the red on the spreadsheet might make you think things are a lot worse than they actually are. I bought almost everything very recently and I don't expect profit immediately. Shortly after I invested, the operation came out, which helped crash a lot of the skin prices. I'm planning on holding all of these for at least 3 years, and by no means do I expect big returns soon. With that said, hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any questions or suggestions of things you think I should invest in, feel free to comment them below and I'll read all of them. So the first thing was stickers. I invest a lot in stickers, and the goal was to get discontinued stickers that people like and apply often. And for that reason, I also thought it would be smart for me to diversify a bit. So I got at least one of each out of 15, and I got a lot of clone 14 hollows. Dat team hollows are low in supply, they look nice, and they get applied often, which is why I got a few of them. I also bought a lot of Copenhagen wools for a similar reason. They were trading under the recent sales, so I thought they'd be decent pickups. And they're somewhat similar to the look of the Dat Team Hollows, which hopefully might become a substitute to craft later on, given how expensive Dat Hollows are compared to them. It's kind of a speculative thing, but I only put, a small part of the portfolio into it, so I'm okay with that risk. For the LGB hollows, I have a lot of them, and I've thought about maybe selling a few and picking up some other stuff. Someone dumped a ton of them for really under what they were at the time. They're trading for about 260, and someone dumped them for about 220 each. So I bought a lot, and I had a lot of buff belt. And Cloud9, the reason I have so many of them, which I also might be a little overstocked on, is that I think they're the nicest looking dream hack, and they get applied a lot, which is why I stocked up. And for the complexity 14 hollow, I actually didn't even really mean to get it. I'm okay with it, and I'm okay with the price. I'm perfectly fine with it. Don't get me wrong, but I actually min bargained on it. It was listed for about 1900, and I bargained 1600, thinking he wouldn't get it, and he actually did. So props to him, I guess. For guns, I had a ton in stickers and cases at the time, and I thought it'd be smart after talking to some people to diversify a little more into trade up food. It did really well with Shattered Web, and so I tried to get a few of the recent Operation trade upgrades. I realized that you can't really compare Shattered Web and Broken Fang. There's some differences in that the one before Shattered Web was 3 years prior. A lot of people didn't know was the Gungnir and the Norse collection, all that gonna get re-released. Nobody really knew. So when Broken Fang came out and they saw it wasn't, those skyrocketed a lot. So I bought a lot of the operation trade upgrades, hoping for long-term profit. I realized short-term it might be bad, and I'm okay with that. As I said, I'm holding everything for 3 years, so I'm okay if in a few months I don't get big profits. That's just kind of unrealistic in any term. Speaking of Norse collection, I bought a lot of the Norse ships, seeing how popular the Gungnir is. I realize I'm not going to get the same returns I would have, 2 years ago, but I'm okay with anything above about 7%. And for the hydroponic, at the time I was playing a lot of comps with friends, and so I wanted something nice to use. So I got a nice AK play skin I also thought would be decent ROI. So it's used for the Weeb AUG, the Akihabara Accept. So hopefully that still does well, given how popular that AUG is. For the Blaze, it's kind of similar, except I don't expect nearly as high of an ROI. In fact, I'd be surprised if I made more than maybe 20 bucks over the 3 years. If I had to use it as a Deagle play skin, and I understand small gains, but it's a nice Deagle, and if I can get a few skins that are relatively small amount of the portfolio, that means I won't sell the rest. I'm okay with that. Part of the problem with me is if I have a ton, in cases and stickers and everything, but then I'm playing with default guns, I'm very tempted whenever I play with my friends who might have, Howl or these super high tier nice skins. I'm a lot more tempted to sell those, sell my stickers that is, to buy skins like that, and this kind of keeps me a lot more set on that track. For cases, I bought a lot of revolver cases. I bought about 5,000 of them before they got discontinued, so I bought them about 4 cents each. I bought the rest at about 11 cents each. is the old knife finishes, and now that's discontinued. Hopefully, it'll be a decent investment. For the old capsules, like the Krakow 2017, I saw the gold stickers and how low their supply is, but there's still pretty high demand given how low the supply is, and so hopefully people will keep opening them. It's not really a popular thing to open, it seems, but given how low the supply is, anything's okay with me. And for the Caliber 14 capsule, this one I'm actually, I think, the most proud of. Turned out to be a really good investment so far. I was just on YouTube and I kept seeing everywhere, which I realized me seeing something with my own eyes doesn't necessarily mean it's the same thing as actual market analysis, but me seeing how often people are opening them on YouTube, like Sparkles, Anomaly, and even Zipple, thought it would be decent given how low the supplies I checked. And at the time, there's I think 190-ish, and now I'm pretty sure last time I checked there's only like 125. I saw people kept opening them, but supply is pretty low, and so hopefully, if demand stays pretty high or relatively high, given how low the supply is, and supply decreases, the price should only increase. And so far, it's gone up 4,000, so I'm pretty okay with that. And I saw recently Trainwrecks has been opening a bunch, so hopefully the people opening them can help fund the rest of the portfolio given the recent losses. For the clutch cases, there's really high demand it seems. There are nice looking gloves in it and they're relatively affordable for how good the gloves are, given your other option is the glove case and those are over $1 and this is a tenth of that price. They're still dropping for live players in game, so I don't expect profit anytime soon as long as they're active drops. However, when/if they get discontinued, I'm hoping for results similar to the glove case. I realize this is kind of similar to like Copenhagen Wolves, and that's kind of a speculative play, but it's a relatively small part of the portfolio. Maybe I overinvested, but at the time I had a bunch of storage units and I kind of wanted them filled. And so I'm hoping for similar results to the glove case, but I would doubt I can get 10x in 3 years. That'd be pretty insane. For the Hydra cases, I bought them way back in February. So I bought them about 8 months ago. Same with the breakout cases, and they've been doing pretty well, but I don't expect for a big ROI given how expensive they are. People probably won't open them very often, and the results from them aren't necessarily insane like the Onitaji, but they've been slowly going up, and I'm okay with that. I thought it'd be good to diversify, and right now I was kind of had a lot in clutch cases and revolver cases, and so I just wanted something else. The Breakout Pass and the Cal 19 Challengers and the Boston 2018 Legends were all from CS deals. They weren't something that I necessarily thought were going to be the best thing. They were from balance I had left over from selling Ruskins that I won a while ago. There weren't any good prices on liquid skins at the time, and these were all under buff. And so my plan at the time was to buy them, sell them buff, get balance. But I actually quit the game around that time. I put them in storage units, and I came back a few months later to see they dropped. I haven't decided if I'm going to sell them or not soon, but I'll let you guys know next. And one last thing, if you're wondering why the 40k and the amount of the buy-in on Excel don't match, it's because I have a few thousand in Katos that I'm still trying to sell to get balance, and I didn't want to include them as long-term investments because I'm not holding them long-term. The only one is I do have a Scout Crown, 4x Crown that I just made the recent video on that I probably will have to hold. The current offer on is pretty low and there doesn't seem to be that many interested. It's a nice one. I think it is going to be a decent long-term investment. And then also I do have about 1,000 in a storage unit that I don't necessarily, for undisclosed reasons, don't want to say what's in them. Thank you all for watching. Like I said earlier, if you have any questions about what I invested in, any suggestions, just leave them down below. I promise I'll read all of them and respond to you. Thank you and have a great day.